Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing another book recommendation video. I'm doing new adult, friends to lovers, romance books. Book recommendations are so requested on my channel, so I hope that you guys enjoy this video. If you need some new recommendations for some romance books that you want to read, keep on watching. And I have some good books to recommend today. So the first book I'm going to be recommending is 99% Mine by Sally Thorne. This is the same author as The Hating Game. I read this book the day after I finished The Hating Game because I was like, oh my god, Sally Thorne is an amazing author. Now I'm gonna go read all of her books. She only has 2. This is the other one. But this one is brother's best friend slash childhood friends. Like, they were childhood friends, really good friends, but he was more the brother's best friend. So that's a little bit of 2 tropes. But this book, let me explain. It is so good because it's a slow burn, forced proximity with the tension of being the brother's best friend. It was like a different dynamic than I've ever read because it was kind of good boy, bad girl. She would just kind of had an attitude and he was super like sweet and soft-spoken, and she always called him like he was the perfect man. She always said that, like, he's perfect. And they're forced to work on renovating a house together. There's so much tension, so much longing and angst. Sometimes it was really cringy. Like the main boy is like so sweet and trying not to have a relationship with her because he doesn't want to upset the best friend, but she literally like throws herself at him. She does not care. And sometimes it was like, girl, take a hint. But it was so good because obviously he wanted to reciprocate, he just didn't, he couldn't. It's called 99% Mine because she's always like, he's 99% my brother's and only 1% mine. But then slowly throughout the book, as their connection deepens, you see her be like, oh, I have 2% of him, I have 3% of him, oh, 5%, all the way until the end. And I just thought it was so cute and so fun. I read it in like literally one sitting. I'm pretty sure I read it in one day. So yes, I really recommend 99% Mine by Sally Thorne. If you did like The Hating Game, you will like this too, I'm pretty sure. Next book from my fave author, Colleen Hoover. This is Maybe Someday. So basically the main girl in this book finds out her long-term boyfriend had been cheating on her with her best friend, so she's forced to move out, but she has nowhere to go. So she moves in with her neighbor, who is this boy who she always sees playing his guitar on the balcony, who also happens to be deaf. So there's like a language barrier there, and the only thing they have in common is that they both love music. So that is how they bond, and that's how they form their connection. And it's so special and so unique. Like, I really liked their connection, like through songs and through music. Oh, just so cute. There are so many moments in this where like I literally wanted to cry of how wholesome it was. But then there's the barrier. He has a longtime girlfriend and there's a specific reason they can't break up. So the tension between them two as friends, obviously wanting to be more, but he has this girlfriend so they can't be more. And I really liked this book. I just thought it was so good. You know, Colleen Hoover always has some plot twists, some deep stuff in her books. So if you're looking for like a hard-hitting book that's really meaningful, I would read Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. Next, this book is so fun, and that's Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. This book is about 2 best friends. They're adults. They met in college and now they're both single and looking to be in relationships, but they're like obviously not with each other. They're like, we're just friends. So they start setting each other up on all of these dates and making each other go on dates with other people that they think they would like. Basically, they set each other up with people that they know they won't like because they don't want them to be dating someone else. They go on double dates, and then at the end of the night, somehow they always end up back together. Just the 2 of them, Josh and Hazel, and they're like, how did our date go wrong again? Oh my god, just the 2 of us stuck together. This book is kind of like the quirky girl and kind of serious boy, which sometimes I hate, but sometimes I love. This book, I did like it. It was fun. So yeah, I recommend it. If you love a good friends to lovers, this is a good friends to lovers. The next book I read on my phone, so I don't own it, but it's called The Guy on the Right by Kate Stewart. And I literally never ever hear people talk about this book, so I'm going to. It is underdog gets the girl, so kind of like the quiet, shy boy who's kind of like a loser, and then the popular girl, and they form a friendship at first. They meet at a party. Slowly but surely a romance unfolds. I don't know if I consider it friends to lovers. I'm putting it in this video because I don't know what trope it would fit under and I want to recommend it. It's definitely they were friends, but it was like not for too long of a time, and it's mostly just underdog gets the girl, and I really like that because I feel like that's super rare. It's always like big strong jock gets weird quirky loser girl. No, the tables turn where it's like really popular girl with kind of shy boy, and I just think it's so wholesome. There's cute moments in this book. I really recommend it. I feel like everyone would enjoy this book too. It's like a fun read, nothing too serious, but yeah. It's called The Guy on the Right because, you know, when you look at a picture and they're like, oh my god, he's so cute, and he goes, no, that's not me, I'm the guy on the right, because he's not the popular cool one, but he does have a popular and cool and beautiful talented best friend that he always feels overshadowed by. until he gets the girl. Next book I also don't own. I just read it on my phone. I want to get it in paperback, and it's called A Piece of My Heart by Teagan Hunter. Like a piece of my heart, except they work at a pizza shop, so the title is called A Piece of My Heart. I really enjoyed this book. It was so fun. It's the first book in a series, but I haven't read the whole series. But this one is childhood friends to lovers / brother's best friend, another mix of the two. Basically, they've been friends their whole lives until he moves away, and the girl is like, why did you move away randomly? Lost all contact with me, but you kept in contact with my brother. You got engaged. He gets engaged while he's away, and then he comes back. He's broken up with his fiance, going on all these dates, these online dating dates at the restaurant she works at. She's like, what are you doing? Like, let me help you get real dates. Like, this does not count as a real date. So they start going on like fake dates to train him how to date again. After his like failed marriage, he explains why he had to leave, and a romance unfolds. And then there's a whole series after that of different characters from the books that I really recommend. It's super fun, a lot of angst. You're in the boy's head a lot, I feel like, in this book, in his point of view. And he talks so highly of the heroine. I was like, oh, I love when they talk so highly of the girl. I recommend this book if you want a quick, fun, easy read, and if you really like it, you could continue on with the series. But yeah, that's this book. It has fake dating trope, it has brother's best friend, and childhood friends to lovers, so I think that is a great combination. The next book I'm going to recommend is actually a duet of 2 books, and Whatever It Takes and Wherever You Are by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I hate the cover, like why is he doing that? And then she's all sweet and wholesome, and he's like, these books? I love them so much. If you know me, I'm obsessed with the Addicted / Calloway Sisters series by Krista and Becca Ritchie. You should definitely read that before you read this duet, because this is a continuation of the series pretty much. That is like literally the best series of all time. So special shout out to that series, because that's also Friends to Lovers, the Addicted series. So check that out. They have Friends to Lovers, Enemies to Lovers, and Age Gap Romance. But these are the 2 books that come after that series. So that's a 10-book series, and then there's 2 additional books. And these are about characters that are introduced later in the series. And this is such a wholesome romance, okay? They meet when they're in high school. They become friends. She's a new girl, super shy, super quiet, super reserved. She just found out a bunch of stuff about her family, and she runs away from home and finds out that her real family is famous. They're the people from the Addicted series. And then the boy is like a bad boy. He's been terrorizing the neighborhood with his friends, and basically her family hates him and his friends. But so it's classic good girl, bad boy. So wholesome though. Like, he's not actually a bad boy at all. He just has a bad reputation. He has a bad reputation, but he is such a softie, and she is so soft, and it is so cute. These 2 characters have such a special place in my heart, like forever and always. I love them. I love the whole Addicted series. Please read it. But yeah, I definitely recommend Whatever It Takes and Wherever You Are, the Bad Reputation duet by Krista and Becca Ritchie. If you want a cute, wholesome, good girl, bad boy, but bad boy with a soft spot for one girl, read this. Next book I've talked about before, so I'm not gonna go too in depth, but that's The Truth About Heartbreak by Celeste. So many of you guys have DM'd me that you've read this because I recommended it in my first book recommendation video ever. It's also, there's 3 books in the series, but about another couple. So this is the only book about this couple, and they are childhood friends / brother's best friend. Again, another common theme. This book is super deep. The girl has gone through the foster system. She had an abusive family, and she finds solace in her adopted brother's best friend, who's what this romance is with, except there's an age gap, so they've never been together. He's always just kind of been like an older brother figure to her. I mean, she's always had a crush on him, but like he's always acted that way because it was like they couldn't be together. Obviously, he was like way older. Until they're adults, they connect again, and he's engaged, but they have this connection that they can't ignore, and there's miscommunications in this. But I really recommend The Truth About Heartbreak by Celeste if you want like another deep friends to lovers about a girl coming from a broken home, then reuniting with her childhood friend years later, who's her brother's best friend. Kind of keep it a secret, kind of not. There's a barrier in the way because he has a fiance, but there's another deep, dark reason why he can't break up with her, and there's just so many secrets that get unveiled in this book. I love it, and I definitely recommend it. The next 2 books I'm recommending are also from a series, but they can be read as standalones because they're all about different couples, and they're from the Off-Campus series by Elle. This is the first book in the series, actually, The Deal. This book is about a girl who's super smart meets a hockey player who's failing one of his classes and really needs help, and she ends up helping him so he can continue playing on the hockey team and continue passing his classes. But she has also gone through so much, trigger warning, sexual assault, Just gonna say that, even if that's a little bit of a spoiler, I feel like that needs a trigger warning. She's been through so much and he helps her get over that, and they kind of not use each other, but they kind of have this like beneficial, this symbiotic relationship where they help each other. So cute. My #1 book boyfriend Garrett Graham is from this book. I love him so much, and I just love this book. The girl in it, I love them. This book couple, something about them just stuck with me through every book I've ever read. I compare so many characters to them, to Garrett and Hannah. I love them. And then the next book that I'm recommending is The Play also by Elle Kennedy, and this is from the Briar U series, which is the spin-off of Campus, which this book is from. This is also friends to lovers. They get paired together for a school project, and I love that like kind of forced proximity thing again. So they have to work together on this project. She has a boyfriend, but she finds out all this stuff about him and she's like, oh my god, I need help. And the boy in this book kind of like helps her through it. The boy in this book has taken a vow of celibacy. So he's like, I cannot hook up with anyone. I'm the captain of the hockey team. I need to focus on my hockey. And she just finds out all this stuff about her boyfriend, breaks up with him, and so they're friends. There's obvious tension between them, but he has this pact with himself that he doesn't want to break. She is going through a hard time with her ex, so it's just a lot of stuff. They help each other, and a romance does unfold. Definitely friends to lovers, and I really like the couple in this book too. I recommend reading this whole series, Off Campus and Briar U. They're connected. There's 4 books in each, and they're all amazing, and everyone I know that has read these 2 series love them. So definitely recommend these, just the 2 friends to lovers from that whole series. I'm gonna recommend the book I'm currently reading. I'm not done with it, so I can't talk about the entire thing, but I'm currently reading Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. I have the prettiest book cover. I'm gonna include a video because it is so pretty, but it's at my parents' house because that's where I've been for the past week. But this is definitely friends to lovers. Basically, Anna is forced to go to boarding school for her senior year of high school in France. She knows no French, she has no friends and no family there, and she's all alone, and she meets this friend group and they immediately like click and hit it off. She's introduced with Etienne, it's a French name, I don't know, St. Clair they call him, so I'm gonna call him St. Clair. They introduce them to each other. He has a girlfriend. St. Clair and Anna become such good friends, and they give each other advice. St. Clair finds something out about his family and she helps him through it. They have like this emotional connection, like they just get each other. They're the only ones in their friend group that didn't go home for Thanksgiving for other reasons that you find out. And so they're alone for a weekend. They hang out all the time, and I'm not done with it yet, but I love it so far. It's so cute and wholesome. I really like it. I really like the characters. So yeah, I definitely recommend that one too. Next, I'm gonna recommend A Love Letter to Whisky by Kandi Steiner. This book, only read it if you can put up with very slow burn, miscommunications, missing each other because they're just not on the same page for years time span this book takes place. They meet in high school, they become such good friends. He's dating her best friend and they really click and hit it off as friends, nothing more. He's literally committed to her best friend. The best friend breaks up with him. They have a bit of a moment. Ever since they have this little like time together where they have a little bit of romance, it expands over years. Stuff happens where she has to move back to another state, so they're separated again. He has to move to a different state when she finally comes back, and it's just very like missing each other. They're always missing each other, but the romance and like the passion these 2 characters have for each other, where like they don't want to give up on each other, but they like can't be together, but like they have to be. I found it like I needed to keep reading. Like I get so frustrated. I'm like, oh my god, just figure something out. Like you guys obviously love each other. But it did start off as friends to lovers. It's friends to lovers for like half the book, and then the rest is like expanded over years of their relationship. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. Only if you can put up with some frustrating books though, because wow, it is frustrating, but in the best way, in the best slow burn way. Next book is Broken Night by LJ Shen. This is also part of a series. It's part of the Sinners of Saints / All Saints High series, which I always talk about, so I'm not going to go in depth about that, but you should definitely read the whole series. But this is one of the books about one of the couples, each book about a different couple again, so it can be read as a standalone, but I really recommend reading the entire series because you'll be very confused if you don't. There's just so many characters. But this is the second to last book in the entire series. That's like 7 books long, I think. But this book is about childhood friends to lovers. Dads were best friends their whole lives, and then the kids have been friends since they were literal newborns, and it's just so like obvious that they love each other, but they like don't want to admit it. They're like, we've been best friends forever. The boy in this book is so not afraid to like tell everyone he loves her. Like I love that about him. He like doesn't care, and she's kind of the one that's more reserved. She's a little bit older than him too, I think a year older, and she also doesn't speak. She has gone through a lot of trauma to the point where she chooses to be a mute, but they have a connection, like literally only the two of them. She doesn't even have this connection with her family where they can communicate, and they figured out ways to talk and be friends since they were kids. And slowly but surely he gets her to open up even more and more and more throughout the book. She goes off to college. He's heartbroken. Stuff happens. A lot happens. A lot about him that he keeps a secret about himself. Like, you would expect him to be like a player bad boy jock, but he's not. And that's just like the vibe he gives to people. He hides behind it, but he's actually such a softie, and there's so much he keeps a secret about himself that not even the girl, his best friend of his whole life, knows. So that slowly gets unveiled. Stuff about her. There's so much jealousy in this book, guys, because they're friends and they don't want to admit their feelings. The jealousy, which I love. You know I love a good jealous moment between both of them, especially him. And then his best friend, who's, it's hard to explain because they're all characters in the series that have their own books, but one of the other characters purposely inserts himself in their relationship and makes moves on the girl just to get the boy to react and finally be like, okay, I like you. So that, I really liked that aspect too. That was so fun. Then the last books I'm gonna recommend is the Summer I Turned Pretty series by Jenny Han. I also read these on my phone over quarantine. At first, I didn't like this series that much. I was like, it's 3 really short books, so pretty much one book, and the couple is barely together. It's a love triangle between 2 brothers and a girl who are all friends. They've been friends their whole lives. Tragedy strikes their family/friend group and brings them closer together. They have to like reunite. The girl has had a crush on the older brother since she was a little kid, but obviously her and the brother that are the same age, they've had tension too because they're the same age. And the whole time you're like, who is she gonna be with? Like, what is going on? I just love the way this story is told. Jenny Han is really good at like putting you in the story. Like, I can vividly picture in my head right now the setting, the characters, the scene. It takes place at a beach house, which I love that vibe that they share with each other, the families. And it's so fun. They just go back every summer and then go their separate ways, then come back for the summers, and you see them each summer coming back, the relationships that are starting and as they get older. Her brother's also involved, so kind of brother's best friend kind of vibes, mostly friends to lovers, and love triangle, which is so fun. I've never read another love triangle book, I don't think. At first I was like, there's barely any romance, but I've learned to appreciate the slow burn because the way she develops the story I really, really like. And I like how I feel connected to the plot and I feel connected to the characters in the story because of how developed it was, because it did take a really long time. There's relationships between the girl and one brother, the girl and the other brother, and you see it all and you're like, where is she going with this? Come on, girl, pick it. And I obviously have a favorite. I'm like, and then really bad stuff happens in one of the relationships and I'm like, are you stupid? Get with the other brother. The other brother is like doing his own thing. It's really good and I recommend it. I'm not gonna be good at explaining it, but I feel like it's more for an immature audience. Like, if you're like a teenager, it's really good. It's like not angsty and it's not new adult. I'm pretty sure it's young adult, but I enjoyed it as like an innocent romance, cute love triangle. So yeah, that's the Summer I Turned Pretty series by Jenny Han. Okay, so that's officially the end of this video. I gave so many recommendations today. This is going to be kind of a long recommendation video, but so many books I've never mentioned on my channel, never on my TikTok, never on my Instagram, nowhere. So I hope you got new recommendations from this. If you love Friends to Lovers, comment other Friends to Lovers books you love in the comments. And my next book video will hopefully be Brother's Best Friend, which I know a lot of people love Brother's Best Friend, and then I have another Enemies to Lovers planned. I have a lot of book videos planned, and I hope your TBR keeps getting longer. I love when you guys tell me that your TBR is getting too long to handle because I keep giving you recommendations. But if you want to keep up with what I'm currently reading, go follow me on Instagram. I literally post like every day on my story about the book I'm currently reading. Follow me on TikTok for occasional recommendations. All my social media is linked down below. As always, leave any other tropes you love, anything down below in the comments. Thank you so much for all the love. You guys are the best ever, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!